Beverly, what is it about Kyle that you think makes everyone want to please her?
I think they think that she has the power to get anyone off the show.
Well, that's
I know Erica
when you
thinks
say that, because I don't
So-
feel that way about
You know,
Kyle.
Erica thinks that?
I know Erica thinks that.
You think that Kyle can get people
Did
off the
I
show?
tell you that? Do you
Yes.
think people
think you've even
gotten rid of a long time ago?
Well, this three-part reunion has finally come to an end. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 15 is in the books, honey. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel where I do weekly recaps of the Real Housewives franchise. That's right, every city, every episode, every week. Today I'm here to recap the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 15 reunion part 3. Before I do so, if you happen to like my content, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you want to leave a comment, go on, all right? Also, make sure that you're hitting that notification bell so that anytime I release a new video, you will get that notification, okay? So we pick up part 3 where we left off at part 2, where Erica and Dorit were going back and forth. Erica had just told Dorit that what really pissed her off and made her not come to Dorit's book cover release was when Dorit told her that she was doing all what she was doing to save her job. You know, so that's when when Dorit told her, when I told you to contribute or whatever, I didn't say to be a cunt. She was saying when I told you to contribute, basically meaning saying you ain't contributing much. So she felt like this was Erica's attempt at contributing to try to save her job. Erica really didn't like that. Dorit didn't realize Erica didn't like that. Andy's asking her now that she knows that, does she have anything to say? And she feels like, say what? So Andy is like, she just told you that's what pissed her off. That, and also when you said Bowles has been there for her, you more than any of them. That was it. That's what, made her flip out. So Dorit is like, listen, if I would have known that, then maybe, So she didn't really say sorry, but this is her way of claiming she said sorry. So Erica is already like, yeah, I see what you're giving. So yeah, that's not going nowhere. So now Cal, she's like, oh, I notice how when it comes to Erica, like, you're like more, basically, it's easier with her. With me, it's like you expect more out of me. So Cal felt like the energy she has for Erica is different. Cal felt like Dorit has much more smoke for her than she has for anyone else based on her exchange with Erica. She felt like Dorit has much more consent for her. And Dorit feels like Cal is the main one that's been running around talking mess, talking to the other ladies about her. She feels like Cal has been the one initiating these conversations. So now Andy brings up how Dorit felt that, had made a comment that Sutton only shared the room with Amanda in Italy to try to get on Cal's good side. So Sutton is like, why would Cal care? Like, no, Cal was like, somebody had to do it. I figured, let me do it. So she's explaining how, Amanda was supposed to be roommates with Natalie. Because first they told Sutton that her and Jennifer were going to get a room together. And she was like, Jennifer is a movie star. Like, why would she have to share a room? That's not fair to her. And so they told her, oh, y'all like sisters. And she was like, you have real sisters. Talking about Cal and Kathy. So Amanda and Natalie were going to share a room together, but Natalie didn't want to share a room with her. Natalie in the after show said, when they said she was going to share a room, Natalie said, I'm traveling with a vibrator, so I don't think she want to share a room with me. Natalie wanted her privacy, okay? So that's when Sutton stepped up to take the room. So as they're saying she's saying something about Natalie. So Amanda was like, that's rude. So while Sutton was like, well, she ain't here. It don't matter. She ain't here.
And I heard Natalie was not real super fond of sharing a room. So I was like, well, she's not here. Doesn't matter. So
I was like, I caught that shade, Sutton. Thank you for giving us the best shade for reunion part 3, baby. Okay. So now Andy talks about how he was surprised at the friendship that Sutton and Erica had built this season, how they got along, and they were like, a newfound friendship. Erica feel like she's enjoying Sutton Brown. She's enjoying this version of Sutton. So Andy now brings up the comment Erica made when her and Bose had that lunch that day. And Bose was like, who's the real Slim Sutton? Would a real Slim Sutton please stand up? And Erica was like, I wouldn't say slim, more like box shaped, more like box. So he was like, that comment. So it was rude. And Erica was like, yeah, that was kind of like harsh. That was. So Sutton was like, it wasn't nice, but I know you're sorry. And Erica was like, I am. So now Andy brings up how Dorit called Sutton a social climber. And Sutton is like, how am I a social climber? So Andy points out to Dorit, like, besides Rachel Zoe, Sutton's the only one here who's been to the Met Gala. And Bowles was like, excuse me? I've been there too, pretty much. So Sutton, Bowles, and Rachel are the only ones who've been to the Met Gala. So how's she a social climber, honey? If anything, like, she's already there. Like, I caught that, Andy. So Dorit apologizes. Sutton is like, thank you. So Dorit is like, you bought that? Like, basically, so you didn't mean it. And Sutton was like, it don't matter. I don't care, or whatever. So Andy asks, where do you think their friendship would go? And they don't know, pretty much. So, yeah, we don't care, actually. So next they move on to the package about them having a hot girl summer, because remember the theme this year was hot girl summer. They showed a package of them and all the stuff they did this summer, all events they threw. So Rachel, she regrets coming up with hot girl summer because it's like so, like 5 years ago, like more than 5 years ago, is it? It's so like 5 years ago, yeah. So it's like, girl. So she's like, I don't know what made me come up with that, but that was the thing. So she start asking them different questions and stuff about, like, what was the proposition, weirdest proposition they had based on Cal's story about the guy on the plane asking her to come take a shower with him. I think Erica said it was on an elevator in Vegas. Rachel said it was some hot guy, a real famous person in the club, but she didn't want to say who it was. So, yeah. Now we get to, I don't know how we get to the topic of Sutton being married. Andy brought up how Jennifer pointed out how Sutton's ex-husband they feel he asked for annulment so that he can marry her friend that he's dating now. So yeah, he asked the ladies, how would you feel if, he asked Cal, what happens if Mo was to date one of your friends? And she was like, I would kill Mo. So Dorit trying to get a moment or whatever, I guess catch Cal and I gotcha. It's like, so would you talk about it? Like, you would be hurt? Would you talk about it publicly? About how you would be hurt? So Cal was like, what do you mean? Like, Cal was like, oh, I see what you're trying to do or whatever. And Dorit is like, I'm trying to make you find a point that you're not getting. Cal is like, listen, he asked me a question. I said I would kill Mo, plain and simple. I wouldn't be happy with it, okay? Like, Dorit, stop it. Yes, please, Dorit, please stop, all right? So now we move on to Bowles' package. They show Bowles' package, including when Keely proposed to her, he congratulates her. We find out she's having 2 weddings, okay? One in Ghana and one in Beverly Hills. So he asked, is everyone invited? She said, yes, everyone's invited. So now people had comments about the conversation she had with Keely when Keely, and Lael had dinner, and he asked her what would happen if he ever lost his job. Would she still be with him? So now, Pam Oliver on Twitter says, y'all are really not listening to these men. They tell on themselves every time. Like, he's setting the stage for when he no longer has an income. That's like a red flag. So Bowles is like, they were being vulnerable in that moment. She had said to him her vulnerability, her biggest fear was if she wasn't able to give him a kid. So at that time he was being vulnerable. That was his biggest vulnerability. And she felt like it was nothing wrong with being vulnerable at that time. So yeah, and I agree with Bowles on that one. I will agree with you on that, Bowles. So now, Andy brings up the comment she made about Amanda, because she was on Watch What Happens Live and they was playing a game, and Andy asked Bowles to name something that he thinks Amanda is good at. And she said scamming. Yes, she said scamming. So she was like, that was bad. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. I was mad at the moment because I felt like he was comparing us. Amanda's like, I wasn't comparing our, careers. And Bowles was like, yes, you are. Like, you got, So Bowles pretty much apologized for it with a but in it there, however. So now they bring up the comment about the mask, her saying Amanda would play Pinocchio and why she didn't admit to it. And she said that she, in the moment, didn't realize what she said. It was like a throwaway, so she didn't realize that she said it because she's a shady person. So it was just something that didn't come to mind, and she don't remember saying those words or whatever, the way it was brought to her, because Amanda got it mixed up. Amanda thought that she said, was calling her a mask. She didn't catch the whole joke of who's going to play Pinocchio. Both saying Amanda. Amanda came to Bowles like saying, you called me a mask. That's not what she said, but Bowles knew what Amanda was trying to get at. But Bowles was playing semantics like she does all the time and like she's going to do a little later. So yeah, Bowles basically is still going by the amnesia. She forgot she said it. But now that it's been exposed, we see you said it. And now they talk about Natalie, how Natalie was acting like she didn't want to say nothing. And that's why they was mad. Like, that's why Cal flipped on her, because she changed it up. She said something different in front of Bottega. But then when they got back to the group, she tried to act like she didn't say what she said. So yeah, so they was trying to figure out what was said before the word Amanda. Before Amanda, what was said? That's what nobody could figure out. So Amanda was like, yeah, nobody knew, but it's, it's over with, whatever. It's no big deal. She's ready to move on. All right. So now they talking Amanda. So Andy asked Amanda, do you feel like, he said Bowles was one of the first people you started sharing things about your career with, and y'all talk career. So do you feel like she, when she said some of the things she said, did you see that coming based on your conversation, or were you surprised by some of the things she said? And Amanda was like, when I met her, like, she said she feel like Bowles, basically, no matter what she say, it's not gonna, anything she do is gonna be questioned. Nothing is good enough for Bowles. She brings up the comment Bowles made about her not being the mother of the 2 kids, but saying she was the mother. Bowles once again plays semantics with that. Bowles is like, I didn't say that. And she's like, yeah, you said, I don't love those kids, or they not my kids. Something to that effect. Once again, Amanda was getting Bowles' words wrong, but nonetheless, Bowles' intent, she understood Bowles' intent. Bowles, on the other hand, plays semantics where she tries to she tries to catch you because you don't know, because you're not quoting her or saying what she said verbatim. She's going to try to make it seem, gaslight you to make you feel like you're putting words in her mouth. Therefore, you misunderstood what she said and took it out of context, and that wasn't her intent, when in reality it was. At the end of the day, Bowles, she said she had 4 kids. She explained that 2 of them were her husband's kids, were her stepkids. So you said, so they're his kids. She said, 2 of my stepkids. You said, so they're his kids. Amanda kind of felt away about that because she was like, well, I'm raising them pretty much. And in your confessional, Bowles, you was like, ain't no other woman calling my child saying she my child mother. I'm the mother. It's only my mother. I don't know about all that. So basically, Bowles is trying to say that Amanda is accusing her of saying she didn't love her stepkids because she's not the real mother. So therefore, Bowles is saying that Amanda is trying to accuse her of feeling that no one who is a biological parent to someone could ever love that kid the way a biological parent can, or can never love a kid because they're not the biological parent, when that's not what Amanda accused you of. Amanda accused you of saying she was not the kid's real mother. That's what you said. And she's not their biological mother, but if she's the one raising them and she's the one in their life and the biological mother is not in their life, then she is their mother. Now, if the biological mother is in their life, that's something different. She would be their bonus mom. Okay? This stepmom, she still is their bonus mom no matter what, because at the end of the day, she's not their biological mom. But if the biological mom is no longer in the picture, or not in the picture, or not in the kids' lives, and she's the one who's doing all the motherly duties, then she would be those are her kids. Those are. If she's the legal guardian or whatever. So, like I said, with Bowles likes to play semantics, and this is what I don't like about Bowles. Like Bowles, your intention was basically, Bowles felt offended that Amanda was saying her stepkids were her kids. She wanted Amanda to clarify that they were the stepkids and not introduce them as her kids. When Amanda felt like, I take care of them, I raise them, those are my kids. Bowles had a problem with that. So now, instead of just admitting that, Bowles is trying to make it seem like Amanda was accusing her of making a blanket, assumption. So, yeah, Bowles, whatever. Anyway, so now Andy brings up the fact that they both have in common that they lost a child. Andy asked Amanda how did it feel to let that out on camera, and she said, she got a lot of positive feedback from people who went through the same thing. She said people told her it helped them, so she's kind of happy she shared it. So now he brings up how Bowles felt that Amanda was using Zion's death in a strategic way, like as a weapon, and Bowles says, when she talks about it, she has her times where she can't get out of bed around that time of year, but it's not something she talks about unless it's, and certain, something pretty much, it's a different, Bowles basically feels like it's something different when she talks about it, whereas when Amanda talks about it, Amanda is using it to garner sympathy or kind of like, basically like, she's using it as a weapon in a strategic way. And for instance, basically when they was having an argument at the table, when Dorit confronted her, Bowles feels like she brought that up to not have to, take accountability for what Dorit was pressing her about. Dorit said that wasn't her intention to approach her. She just wanted to know and understand where Amanda was coming from. Amanda feels like she explains to Dorit she had just came from seeing the psychic, and she was emotional because that's what she was talking about. So when Dorit came at her, she was already emotional. Her state of mind was somewhere, whereas now she saw Dorit as coming at her. She said Dorit didn't attack her, but she did feel like she was accosted because she's never experienced Dorit coming at her in that way, or, saw Dorit behaving that way. So when Dorit came at her in such a hostile manner, aggressive manner, she felt like she was being accosted. So basically, she was explaining that in her state of mind. Now that she looks back at it, no, Dorit didn't attack her. But in that moment where her state of mind was, she's looking back and she can understand why she felt accosted, okay? And I can understand that as well. If I just finished having a real deep conversation with my child that I lost, like at birth or whatever, and now as soon as I come back and I'm still in that zone, in that moment, and you come at me with some negativity, like, sorry, Amanda actually handled it better than I would have. Let's just say that, okay? So now we move on to, they actually make some kind of ground at the end of the day. So now we go back to Cal versus Dorit. We talking about Dorit, actually. This is Dorit's package, actually. Yeah, this is Dorit's pack. No, is it Dorit's package? Yeah, it's Dorit's package. Dorit's package is last. So they're showing everything that happened with Dorit. They're talking about how Cal, basically this season, they're talking about how Cal has been saying Dorit's been, moving, in a way. Cal's been concerned about Dorit's behavior, her spending, and the things she's been saying about PK. Cal is scared it may come back to hurt her. And Dorit feels like Cal is the one that's going around, making this a thing. So yeah, we get into that, and now Dorit says that she feels Cal wanted to make her look bad by having all these conversations with everybody. Cal is like, why would I want to make you look bad? And they all like, Dorit, do you really believe that? And she's like, yes, because, she had a conversation with everybody. So once again, Cal brings Bowles into it, because she's like, when I had a conversation with this person, she's like, Bowles said what she said about the looming financial crisis thing. So Bowles says, you know what, I'm going to clear it up. I said what I said, and then I brought it back to Dorit, because I felt Cal was concerned. I was defending you, Cal. I told Dorit I think that you really was concerned and your intentions were genuine. But then when you didn't show up to the book signing, I felt like a fool. So Kyle is like, yeah, and I don't appreciate how you was going doing interviews and saying making it look like I was this bad friend and your confessional and all that. Kyle is like, I'm trying to be friends with you and get a friendship with you, but it's gonna be impossible to do that if Dorit is gonna come in the middle of that. I want to build something with you outside of this. And Bowles is like, yeah, that's why I asked you to go, exercise it with me. I wasn't going to try to hit you in your head with a barbell or nothing. So, yeah, basically, Kyle feels like Bowles is letting Kyle's situation with Dorit come in between her building a friendship with Kyle, okay? So, Dorit also, Andy points out how Dorit feels Sutton and Erica turned on her and betrayed her. Sutton says she didn't betray her. She don't feel like she turned on her. Dorit feels like, yes, when Cal's having conversations with them, it's like she's collecting her minions. Sutton says she's no minion to no one. She's nobody's minion. She's not going to just do what Cal says. That's just not something she do. That's a hard task. Dorit reminds her of when she was like, I will not bow down to the... I would not bow down to the throne of Cal Richards. I forgot the exact word, but the altar of Cal Richards. So I'm saying it's like, no, but I'm sorry you felt I turned on you because I didn't. That wasn't my intentions. So now this is when Dorit is basically saying, no, Andy asks Dorit, well, why do you think that they all doing this and listening to Cal and everyone wants to be on Cal's good side? And Dorit feels like it's because they feel Cal has the power to get them off the show. And Cal is like, really, I do? Because if that's the case, a lot of people would have been going. And Andy agrees, like, oh, let's start the list. So Dorit admits that first of all, she says Erica thinks so too. Erica was like, I told you that. Erica didn't say, no, that's not what I think. I noticed that, though. So Dorit is like, I don't think that, because if that's the case, I would have been going, Jennifer points out, doesn't Kamel Grandma say that about she's the reason Cal got her blackboard from the show? And also Amanda says that's the perception because people come up to me saying, oh, Cal got me on the show. It's because of Cal. So, yeah, they think Cal has some kind of control. Cal denies it, and Andy kind of denies it as well. So now Cal decides once again to apologize to Dorit for saying that word erratic. And Erica is like, girl, like, you keep apologizing about this. You don't need to keep apologizing. So Cal is still trying to apologize and explain herself. Dorit is still giving her a hard time, basically claiming that Cal is supposed to be so much concerned with what PK can do to affect Dorit, but yet you're giving him this by saying these things about her as if that won't affect how he moves now. So yeah, Erica is telling Cal, Cal, you're fighting for a friendship that's over. Just let it go. Cal is like, I don't care about that. Now I'm fighting for my, my good name. You're not gonna sit out here and trash me and make it seem like I'm the one that's initiating all these conversations when I'm not the only one. We're talking, having a conversation with each other. It's not me just talking and I'm listening. So basically, they're not getting nowhere. Kathy feels like Kathy asks Dorit, let me ask you a question. I'm not trying to start no trouble, but it just seems like when it comes to like what you're saying, like you only really care about Erica, and with Cal, you don't have an issue. And I feel bad for my little sister because why it seems like Cal is the only one you can't forgive. And Dorit is like, Cal is the one reiterating that Cal is claiming that Dorit should watch what she says about PK because he can use that against her. Well, meanwhile, Cal is saying things that he can use against her. So, yeah, we're not going to get nowhere on that. They don't know where they're going to go from here. And Cal says she doesn't hold grudges or whatever. So they bring up Dorit being late a lot. Andy was like, not for nothing, but you've always been late. And Dorit is like, yeah, that's why I don't get it. What was the big deal? So now Andy was like, well, it seems like you really don't care though. Like you're not apologetic. So Dorit says, no, I hate being late. So she apologizes for being late or whatever. And I guess that's the best you can get from her, right? So they're talking now. He brings up how hard Erica cried at the table in Italy when they had the big argument and Dorit left. He was like, Dorit, now looking back, when you see that, are you saying she did blow up on me, but she really does care about our friendship? So Reed was like, oh, that was cute to see, but if that's the case, why she ain't reach no call, no text, or nothing after that? And didn't even show up to my book event, please. So Erica, once again, is standing by. I felt how I felt. I did what I did. I said what I said. And I'm not taking it back.
I said what I said, okay?
So Erica is like, she wants the old Dorit back. And, you know, until then, she's good with them being on hold or whatever. She says it sounds selfish, but I want my old friend back. Dorit says, I feel the same. And Dorit was like, when you hear what you say, basically what you're saying is like, I'm glad you said that because, you know, they said the best way to find out who your friends are is when you're doing bad. So they showed a flashback of Erica saying, you know, you want to know who your friends are? Go bankrupt, lose your money, go to court, catch a case, like, you know, ask them to bury a body with you or whatever. So, yeah, basically, Dorit is saying, I'm good on you. Basically, like, I want friends that's going to be my friends no matter how I'm doing. Like, I'm doing bad now, so you don't want to associate with me. So you want to wait for me to get it back together before we can be friends again. So I guess I come knocking on your door when everything's back together and we can be friends again, pretty much. And Erica was like, no, what I'm saying is I don't like this version of you. I don't feel like I deserve this, and I don't appreciate it, and I'm not going to be treated like that. You know, I don't like this version of you, pretty much. So, yeah, we don't know where this is going to go. But anyway, so we close out the, we're about to do the closing thoughts now. It's time for the closing thoughts. So Andy asks everybody what they're manifesting. Kathy is manifesting happiness and good health for everyone. Jennifer is manifesting winning the main event at the World Series of Poker. Good luck, girl. Amanda manifests more goodness for everyone and more for her because she has a great life and she wants more of it, okay? Erica manifests being completely free from my old life and on to new things, okay? Sutton is manifesting a man in her life, okay? Rachel is manifesting to keep laughing my way through life and find a man that makes her laugh that she can make out with. Dorit manifest staying on a good track with PK, and if everything works out the way she think it will, this is going to be her year. I'm hoping out for you to read. I'm hoping it is your year. Cal manifests surviving her daughter moving out, her final daughter moving out, and she manifests peace for herself and for everyone. Bowles manifests never having to say the word manifestation again. So now Andy does a toast because Matcha is having a moment. Shout out Amanda, a moment. And he says, you know, that's Amanda, you know, he gives Amanda her props for coming up, you know, making that this little theme this season, having a moment, okay? So they do a toast with matcha tini, and it does have alcohol in it, Jennifer. And they also have a birthday cake for Kathy because it's her birthday. All right? So Cal does the toast, and that's a wrap. That's the end of the season, guys. All right. I'm glad this reunion is over, honey, because they drew this whole Dorit versus Cal thing out for 3 parts. I was tired of it, but it's all over now. This was a great season, like I said. The reunion, honestly, I don't feel like it should have been 3 parts. They could have wrapped this up in 2 parts. I'm going to grade this year's reunion a C-, all right? It drags on. I'm over it. I was over Dorit. I came in this all season. I was definitely cheering for Dorit, but by the reunion, I was over Dorit, and I'm over it, okay? For me, the MVP for the reunion would have to be, I guess, Dorit, pretty much, even though she got on my nerves, but pretty much the reunion was all centered around her, pretty much. We catered to Dorit for the whole reunion. Okay, guys, let me know what you thought of this reunion. Let me know what you thought of the season, guys. Also, look forward to my recaps for Real Housewives of Atlanta and Rhode Island coming soon. If you hit that notification bell, you will get an alert as soon as I drop those, okay? In the meantime, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons for this video. And if you want to leave a comment, go ahead for it, okay? Today is Tuesday, May 12th. I will catch you all later on for Atlanta and then maybe tomorrow for Rhode Island. Bye.